Now we're going to be looking at triangles. So we want to find the area of a particular triangle that looks like that, okay, or any type of triangle. As long as you know the base, okay, so the base side length and a perpendicular height, okay, so it must be perpendicular to the base. So if that's the base straight, the height must make a right angle with the base. That's a key thing with triangles. So it can't be any triangle. As long as you have the base and the height, the perpendicular height, you can get the area. The area is given by base, so I'll call that just B, times the height H, and then you divide it by 2. Or you can think of it as half times base times height. So whatever method you like to think of it as. That's the area of a triangle, guys. I want you to memorize that right now if you haven't already done so, because it's not a big formula, because that's what we're going to be using for the next questions, okay? So let's try, starting with 18. Find the area. They give you the base, they give you the height, just plug it all into the formula. So it's going to be half times base times height, or half times height times base, whatever method, whatever order, and then calculate that, you should get 10. How simple was that? Now find H if the area is 32. So this time, we don't want to find the area. They give you the area, but this time I want to find the H, which is unknown. They give you the base, the height is just H, and the area is 32. So half times base times height must be 32. And you can see that 8 times a half is 4. So I'm just going to simplify that to 4H equals to 32. Divide 32 by 4, that's going to be 8. So H is 8. That's it. All right? Just a bit of algebra. Find X if the area is 24 centimeters squared. Same kind of thing, but this time the unknown value is the base, X. So do the same thing, guys. Half times base times height, or height times base, so height times base in this case, is equal to 24. And you can see that 6 times a half is 3, so 3x is 24. Divide 24 by 3, you get 8. So the base X is 8. Okay, so again, just a bit of algebra going on. Find the area. Guys, here you have to keep an eye on the word perpendicular that I said earlier. Remember how I said to find the area of a triangle, you need to know the base and then the perpendicular height. And see how here they have a right angle given to us? So you can choose. You can choose 4 as the base or 3 as the base. You can see if I tilt it this way, the 4 will be the base. And if I tilt it a bit this way, the 3 will be the base. So whatever method, whatever dimension you want to look at it as, doesn't really matter because it will give you the same answer. I don't know, I'll treat 3 as the base. So then what will be the height? The height would simply be 4 because that's perpendicular. I'm simply going to go half times height times base, which is simply 6. Trying to look at it, like tilt your head a little bit and trying to look at it in a different dimension, yeah? Find the area. This time we don't have the H, the height. We have the base ready for us, but we don't have the height, so we can't find the area straight away. But this time they give you one of these sides of the triangle. And see how these lines, what does that indicate? These two sides are the same, so therefore what kind of triangle is this? It must be an isosceles triangle, right? So it's an isosceles triangle. So what we can do is, and only when it's an isosceles, guys, remember this, only when it's an isosceles triangle, the height will bisect the base, which means that from here to here, it's equal to from here to here. That means this would be 8, and this would also be 8. Right? Because it's an isosceles triangle, the base is exactly cut in half with the perpendicular height. All right, so remember that, that only applies to an isosceles triangle. What can we use to find the height, H? Hope all of you can tell me that we are going to use the Pythagoras theorem. See how we have a right angle triangle there? So let's apply the Pythagoras theorem. H squared plus 8 squared is 10 squared. Move the 8 squared over, square root, oh, that's 36 if you simplify it, and then square root it, or you can kind of tell that 6 squared is 36. So we just say square root of 36 is 6. Okay, easy to find. We're very, very used to this, right? You should be experts on this. So H is 6. We've got the height, and the base of the triangle is 16. So how can we find the area? Just put it into your formula. So it's going to be half times height times base, or base times height, whatever order. And that simplifies to 48. 23, find the area correcting to one decimal place. Okay, this time another triangle, but this time what kind of triangle is it? See how all sides are equal? So what do we call that? An equilateral triangle, isn't it? So therefore, all sides are going to be 8. 8, 8. So we can say that the base is 8, right? But this time we need the height. We're not given the height again. But if you can see, it looks like an isosceles triangle because these sides are the same. I should have said also when it's an equilateral triangle, the base can be cut in half like that. So that would be 4. And you can see that this is a right angle and we don't know what the height is there. What can we use again to find the height? Of course, Pythagoras theorem. So I'm going to say h squared plus 4 squared is 8 squared. Move your 4 squared over, which is 48. Simplify it. Square root it. That will be your height. So the area is half times base times height, or height times base. So we found the height, which is root 48, and we know that the base is 8. So plug that onto the calculator, and you should get something like this. But to one decimal place, it should be 27.7. Find x if the area is 48. So again, they give you the area, you want to find the base, x. So let's just do our usual thing, put it into the formula. Half times height times base is 48. And then 4 times half is 2. And 48 divided by 2 is 24. So x is simply 24. Okay, again, you can just tell that we can use a formula because this is the height, that's the base, and they are perpendicular. They make a right angle. Okay, so that's the very important thing that you must take in consideration. Okay, so that was the end of triangles.